It's the high school game of the week on 23 ABC, Friday Night Live. Brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm Casey Kiernan. We're live here on the campus of Centennial High. They just wrapped up a Southwest Yosemite League win, 28-6 over Independence. Now, this was an Independence team whose only win ever came against Centennial last year in the SWYL. They'll be out of the league next year, the only Division III team in that league. Centennial, on the other hand, not only were they needing a bounce-back win, they lost pretty bad to Stockdale last week, but if they got the win tonight, and they did, it would clinch the playoffs. Let's go to those highlights. Centennial High Golden Hawks taking the field to a packed crowd on their home turf. They take on an Independence team looking to bolster their schedule with a shock road win. There's Mark Hernandez. He has cerebral palsy, but still an integral part of his team. Centennial fumble in the first series of the game, so DJ Reed takes the handoff, runs around a well-sealed edge, and has his team near the red zone. So 2nd and 3 for the Falcons. Jordan Wiley on the keeper. Runs right on in for the touchdown. PAT is blocked, so it's 6-0 Independence. All right, everyone up for the kickoff. Here's Brandon Robinson taking the handoff from Andrew Hansen. Long field to work with, but he falls a block between the tackles, beats DJ Reed, and B-Rob is gone into the end zone, and he puts 6 on the board. A fluff 2-point conversion ties us up at 6s. Penalties factor for the Golden Hawks early on. That's Bailey Ebby, caught off sides on a 4th and 2. But Independence, mistakes of their own. That's a snap, turns into a fumble and a turnover. Centennial has the ball, 4th and inches for Golden Hawks. Andrew Hansen keeps the ball, and it's just first down. Golden Hawks. Crowd goes wild. So with a few yards to go, who else? Brandon Robinson takes the handoff and dives on into the end zone. 12-6 Centennial. But what about all those missed PATs? Coach Sneed dials up another 2-point conversion. This time it's Andrew Hansen through the air. Gabriel DeLeon catches it, and Centennial goes on top by 8.
Go Hawks!
We spoke to head coach Sean McEwen of the Independence Falcons right after the game. They've got a couple of tough games coming up left in the SWYL. Let's hear what he had to say.
We made some mistakes and that we can clean up next week, and we got a great team to prepare for next week in Liberty.
What'd you tell your team just there after the game?
I told them I'm proud of them, how hard they played, but we have to clean up some of the mistakes. I didn't do a good enough job of getting them ready mentally and physically, and so I got to do a better job next week.
You've got a pretty good Liberty team coming up, and then Frontier after that. Is this a real chance for you guys to go 500?
We're just going to go out and play next week. We're going to prepare hard. The coaches are going to work hard this weekend. We're going to try to get the kids ready the best we can, and see what happens next week.
Thanks again to Coach McEwen for talking to us. We got plenty of show left. We've got assistant coach Dave Rice from the Centennial Golden Hawks to talk to us after this break. It's Friday Night Live from Centennial High. We'll be back.
Friday Night Live, brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great rivalries. Garces,
Hatchville,
Centennial,
Liberty,
Highland,
Foothill,
West,
PHS.
and despite all our great rivalries, there are some things we can all agree on. Like official doctor's notes, for excused absences, are always folded in half. And no matter who we root for, Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
For 94 years, Earners has met quality, selection, and unbeatable prices. And that's just what you'll find during the anniversary sale at Earners Seas Please. Save on Tempur-Pedic and get up to $300 in free pillows and sheets with your purchase. It's all here. Guaranteed lowest prices on the brands you want. Plus amazing bonus savings up to $1,200 off with free same-day delivery and 4-year special financing. You're gonna love the anniversary sale at both Earners Seas Please Sleep Centers, White Lane and Weibel, and our superstore at Brimhall and Callaway.
I'd like to cook for the family, but having the time to do it is the problem. But now with Denny's Diner Bell dinners, I can feed up to 4 with delicious spaghetti and meatballs, pot roast, and more. Bring the diner home tonight for just $19.99. Order online at dinerbelldinners.com.
When you're up against 32-footers like Lady Luck,
You don't want just any truck. Chevy Silverado offers better towing than Ford F-150 and Ram 1500. Got an uphill battle on your hands? It's not luck. It's Silverado you want to rely on. Learn more at the Silverado vs. All event.
Visit Three-Way Chevrolet. Just announced, trade up to the all-new Silverado All-Star for this introductory offer of $3,250 total value.
Get the first news of the day with Larissa Wohl. Weekdays on 23 ABC News at 4:30.
23 ABC News. We cover Kern County.
An old friend of Arsenio's returns, Andrew Dice Clay. Plus,
the way she dances is catching on all over the place.
Dancing with the Stars, Amber Riley and Derek Huff show Arsenio how to move. And Wayne Brady.
Tonight after Nightline on 23 ABC.
Welcome back to Friday Night Live. We're still here on the campus of Centennial High. We're joined now by assistant coach Dave Rice. Coach Sneed was not feeling totally up to it, so he sent you.
Yes, sir.
The things that you do for your head coach.
When you love them.
When you love them. And
right.
You're the offensive line coach.
Fortunately, here at Centennial.
What did you see from your offensive line on the offensive side of the ball as a whole from your team tonight?
I thought we had some great pickups. They came out. We thought they would watch Stockdale film and come out in a 4-3, and they came out in their 3-3 stack, offset, and really hadn't anticipated, and our kids picked it up really well and did a wonderful job.
And so you were telling me before we came on that you've been a coach for 31 years?
31 years, come from down south, coached there for a few years, came out here, coached at West High for about 8, and I've been here for 16.
And you worked with Coach Nixon before this year, correct?
Right.
You didn't come over with Coach Sneed. You were with Coach Nixon before?
Originally at West High, Coach Sneed was here in 98, and he brought me over in 98, and I worked with him in 2000. Then when he left, Brian Nixon came in, and I worked with him for 12 years. Love him to death, just like I do Kevin Sneed, and just really blessed.
So you've known Kevin for a long time. He talked with us initially when he and his family found out about his cancer, and then they found out that it was treatable. Right. Can you just tell me, what has that whole experience been like for you guys?
Well, we have such a love for the guy that it crushed us initially, and pretty tough getting through those initial days when we weren't sure how bad it was. And then when we found out it was curable, it's just like this great weight lifted off our shoulders, and the kids responded beautifully. The kids have shown a lot of love and caring, and it's just a lot of community here at Centennial.
A lot of community kids responded, and they responded today. You guys clinched playoffs.
Right, beautiful.
We were talking before. I asked you about goals, and you told me, well, goals, league goals, those are kind of a head coach's thing. But a goal to clinch the playoffs has been accomplished tonight. Was it sort of a jubilant feeling, a celebratory feeling there?
Very much so. The first thing I did on the sideline, I turned to Coach Sneed and said, well, we're in the playoffs. So that was a huge deal. But when you're a position coach, you're just trying to get those guys ready every week and try to play at the best performance every week and to reach real lofty heights as far as what you're doing up front. So, yeah.
You've, well, I was going to refer to one of our highlights there, but they went away, and that's okay. Let's talk about the rest of your league. You've got BHS coming up, and after that, you wrap up the season with Liberty. Okay, so you've got number 1 and number 2 left on your schedule. You spend a lot of time watching film. Who has been most impressive to you from the Southwest Yosemite League this year?
When you watch film, of course, we just watch the teams that we're going to play. So we watch Frontier, and we're impressed with them. I think they're really, really, really tough up front. They've got some real talented athletes, and just about, well, every team in this league's coached so well. So you mentioned that I watched a lot of time watching film. Everyone watches a ton of film. And we're going to play BHS, and I tell you what, they have a great coaching staff. The kids are really well prepared, have wonderful athletes, and just a real class program. Look forward to playing them every year.
And you've been around for 31 years. You've seen, I don't know how many Valley champions. From what you've seen of BHS, do they look like a potential Valley champion this year?
If I said yes right now, it means I would have watched film on them. and tomorrow morning I will get up and I will watch days of film on them. But from what I've heard, they're very good.
So the jury is out, according to Coach Rice, right now.
From what I've heard, they're the real deal. So we're going to watch film and we're going to prepare.
And from what their scoreline tonight, BHS was, they are the real deal. And you guys as well, the real deal. Congratulations on clinching the playoffs, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, it was a real pleasure. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks again to Coach Rice. And as I said, BHS, big win. We'll wrap around Kern County for some other scores on the other side of this break. It's Friday Night Live from Centennial High. We'll be back.
You're watching KERO 23 ABC in Bakersfield. Friday Night Live, brought to you by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the biggest little credit union in town.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great rivalries. Garces,
Hatchville,
Centennial,
Liberty,
Highland,
Foothill,
West,
BHS.
And despite all our great rivalries, there are some things we can all agree on, like official doctor's notes for excused absences are always folded in half. And no matter who we root for, Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
Hey, if you're looking for a great deal on a car, the Love Automotive Group is where you need to go. They got me my car, and hey, they can get you yours for a great deal.
At Bakersfield Mazda, lease a 2013 Mazda 3 ISV for just $149 a month. That's $149 a month. Or get a 2013 Mazda CX-5 for just $219 a month. That's $219 a month. Check out this sexy and sleek new 2014 Mazda 6, which gets up to 38 miles per gallon. At Bakersfield Mitsubishi, lease a 2013 Outlander Sport ES for just $189 a month. That's $189 a month. Only at the Love Automotive Group.
Shining, and I still know you're here with me.
Want to know what your RV is worth today? Now is the best time to take advantage of Barry's RV free appraisal service. Barry's RV is paying top dollar for quality used RVs, motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, tent trailers, and campers. Paid for or not, even if you owe more than your RV is worth, you owe it to yourself. Barry's RV will find you the best solution. Barry's RV, 58 and South Union Avenue, or go to barrysrv.com.
Awkward, personal, in public.
Oh, that's priceless!
See the prank next, right this minute.
Monday at 11:30 on 23 ABC.
Welcome back to Friday Night Live. I'm Casey Keenan. We're still here at Centennial High School after their win 28-6 over Independence in the SWYL. Thanks again to assistant coach Dave Rice from Centennial for joining us. A lot of other scores and things that happen around Kern County on this football Friday. As we mentioned before, some upsets, a lot of interesting ones. First, let's take a look at some other scores in the SWYL. The Drillers, as we said, big win over Frontier, 42-21. Stockdale and the Patriots. This one was, I mean, when they announced this over the PA system here at Centennial, people went crazy. 1 point win, another close one. Last week was OT. This week in regular time, Patriots win over the Mustangs. So let's take a look at those SWYL standings. Well, it would appear that Bakersfield High still the class of the league. Liberty swaps with Stockdale, so they go number 2, and BHS showing that they are still the class of the league. Liberty back on track with Centennial and Independence left in their schedule. Let's take a look now at some other standings. I believe it's going to be the South Sequoia League. Let's see. Yep, here we go. BCHS, huge win for them tonight over South. Let's take a look at some other standings. That BCHS game over South, a lot of talked about. Wasco, without Isaiah Sharp, still able to do it. They held Taft to just 3 points. Let's take a look at some other standings here. In the South Sequoia League still, Southeast Yosemite League. Oh, I'm sorry, the South Yosemite. Here we go. Guys, we're all mixed up here. West on top. Ridgeview falls to West after Ridgeview beat South unbeaten before they go into league, and now they are down in 4th place. And lastly, Southeast Yosemite League. Garces and Tehachapi, class of the league. No doubt. We saw it again this week with their wins, and it's going to set it all up for the final week of the season, Garces versus Tehachapi at Garces. Well, that's going to do it here tonight. Speaking of next week, Friday Night Live, Frontier at Stockdale for us. Please join us. Thanks again to everyone at Centennial.